I don't ever remember being asked. I just remember doing it. As far as making music,
Since I was born, Daddy has been the best father you could ever imagine.
At 58, Janet Jackson has just revealed the heartbreaking truth behind her brother's final days. After years of silence, she's opening up about the news that she's kept hidden since his sudden death. Janet and Michael had a bond like no other, and her memories are filled with both love and sorrow. Let us dive into the story of what they had to endure that will give you nightmares for weeks. The start of a music legend. Let's rewind to the very start of his life, which took an unexpected twist. He always said music was meant to be part of his family's life. He was born on August 29, 1958, in a town called Gary, Indiana. He was one of 10 kids in the Jackson family who lived in a cozy two-bedroom house on Jackson Street. This home setup mirrored their simple, working-class life. His mom, Catherine Esther Jackson, was talented in music, playing the clarinet and piano. She dreamed of being a country and Western singer, but ended up working part-time at Sears to support her big family. She was also a strong believer in her faith as a Jehovah's Witness, which she passed on to her children. Before we dive deeper, it's clear that Michael's early life held more challenges than anyone could have guessed. And this is just the start of a story filled with shocking twists. His dad, Joseph Walter Joe Jackson, was a man of many interests. He used to be a boxer and worked as a crane operator at U.S. Steel. He also played the guitar in a local rhythm and blues band called the Falcons. Family stories say Joe's great-grandfather, July Jack Gale, might have been an Army Scout and perhaps a Native American medicine man. He grew up with 3 sisters, Rebby, Latoya, and Janet, and 5 brothers, Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, Marlon, and Randy. Sadly, Marlon's twin Brandon died right after he was born, adding a sad note to their family history. Growing up in Gary with so many siblings meant privacy was scarce, but it also created a strong bond and team spirit among them. They supported each other every day and in their growing music efforts. The city of Gary, with its strong African-American presence, played a big part in shaping his early life. The local music scene, full of gospel, blues, and rhythm and blues, heavily influenced his musical style, which would later mesmerize the world. From a young age, music was always around him. The Jackson home was constantly filled with tunes, whether it was his mom trying to sing or his dad practicing with his band. These early musical moments were key in shaping his talents. His mom's deep love for music and her own unfulfilled dreams likely pushed him early on towards music and rhythm. Her dedication to her faith and her job also showed him the value of hard work and spiritual life. Joe Jackson, though strict, showed him the hard work needed to succeed in music. Despite the tough ways of his dad, his drive to refine his children's musical skills was crucial for their later fame. As he got older, his natural gift for music became obvious. Before he even fully grasped music, he could sing and dance incredibly well. His family soon noticed his exceptional talent, which stood out even among his musically gifted siblings. Their musical path took a new direction when Tito, breaking his father Joe's strict rules, played his guitar. This led to the start of a family band, opening a new chapter in their path to stardom. In 1963, the Jackson brothers started showing off their skills at local talent shows, driven by Joe's strict and intense training to make their performances perfect. He often spoke about missing out on his childhood because he was pushed into the adult world of show business at a very young age. In a 2002 interview, he remembered his early days in nightclubs, witnessing things no child should see. He watched as adults acted wildly, which left a strong mark on him and shaped how he saw life and fame. He missed out on the simple fun that most kids have. The tough environment Joe created, aimed at making them stars, often ignored their emotional needs, leaving him with deep emotional scars. Throughout his life, his relationship with fame was complicated. He reached unparalleled heights in music, known all over as a brilliant performer. His music broke records and his dance moves became iconic. Yet the pressure of fame had its effects. His personal life was always in the spotlight, leading to intense scrutiny and criticism. Despite the challenges, his love for music never waned, and he continued to innovate and inspire throughout his career. As his career grew, his life became more complicated. Now let's find out what Janet's recent reveal adds to this story. The family's untold struggles. Janet Jackson's recent revelation about her brother has stirred up all these memories and brought new facts to light. What she shared has not only shocked her fans, but also added a new layer to the complex story of one of music's biggest legends. To find out what Janet said and more about his intriguing life, make sure to check out our full video. This tale of talent, struggle, and family bonds shows just how much he and his family went through on their rise to fame. It also reminds us how deep family ties run, especially in times of loss and remembrance. So what new details did Janet share, and how do they change what we know about him? Keep watching to dive deeper into the life of a music legend who left an indelible mark on the world. This whole thing started when he and his brothers were pushed hard by their father to succeed in music. This tough upbringing taught them to work hard and behave professionally, but it also caused a lot of tension at home. He especially felt bitter because he missed out on a normal childhood, which is something he really wanted. Even though these times were tough, they prepared him well for his future in music, giving him the skills to perform confidently under big pressure. These skills would later help him reach incredible heights in his music career. In the beginning, he and his brothers formed a band called the Jackson 5. During the late 60s and early 70s, they became huge stars. They first started showing off their talents at small shows and in clubs that welcomed black performers during a time when racism was still widespread. In 1967, they signed with a small music label called Steel Town Records and released a couple of songs, but these didn't get much attention. Everything changed in 1968 when they signed with Motown Records, a big deal at the time. This move made them super popular, and they made history by having their first 4 singles hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. These songs were I Want You Back, ABC, The Love You Save, and I'll Be There. Between 1969 and 1974, they racked up 17 top 40 hits and 6 #1 R&B singles. Their music, which combined funky soul with catchy dance moves and an incredible voice, made them favorites all over the country. People loved their energetic performances and their upbeat, fun songs. After a lot of success with Motown, the group decided it was time for a change and moved to Epic Records in 1976. This led to Jermaine, one of the brothers, staying behind with Motown while Randy stepped in to replace him. The band then changed their name to the Jacksons. They kept making hits with songs like Enjoy Yourself and Shake Your Body Down to the Ground, from albums called Destiny and Triumph. While still part of the Jacksons, he started doing his own thing in music too. He really made a name for himself with his solo career. His album Off the Wall, which came out in 1979 when he was just 21 years old, was a big turning point. It showed everyone that he had grown up and was more than just a pop singer. This album mixed funk, disco, soul, and R&B, and included big hits like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Rock With You. His growth as an artist was clear. He wrote some of the songs and really showed off his creative side. Off the Wall was a huge success, hitting the top of the charts and bringing him awards and lots of fans. But he wasn't satisfied. He wanted to do even better. He negotiated a new deal that gave him 37% of the album profits, which was unheard of at the time. This set him up perfectly for his next big album, Thriller, which came out in 1982. Thriller broke all the sales records and became the best-selling album of all time. By 1984, after a massive tour with his brothers for the Victory album, he decided to focus on his solo career. The Jacksons kept going for a while without him, but were never as popular. The Jackson family was close, but fame brought troubles too. Now let's look into the highs and lows of his life. The price of being a star. Over the years, the Jackson 5 came back together a few times for special occasions, like Motown's 25th anniversary and his own 30th anniversary concert in 2001. They sold over 150 million records worldwide, making them one of the most successful acts in music history. They got lots of awards and even a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Their influence on music and pop culture was huge, and they were recognized for it by being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Even with all this fame, his life wasn't easy. He was constantly in the spotlight, and not always for good reasons. In 1993, he faced serious allegations for the first time when a 13-year-old boy and his father accused him of violence. This was just the beginning of a series of public battles he would have to fight. Battles that would affect both his career and his personal life deeply. These challenges showed a darker side to his fame, one that followed him throughout his career, reminding everyone that even the most successful stars can have very difficult lives. At first, Jordan's mom told police she didn't think he had harmed her son, but she changed her mind a few days later. Evan, Jordan's dad, was recorded saying he planned to press charges, which he argued was a plot by a jealous father to get money from him. His older sister, LaToya, also accused him of being a pedophile, but later said her abusive husband had forced her to say that. In August, police searched his house and found 2 art books with pictures of young boys in partial clothing. He claimed he didn't know about the book's contents and suggested someone else might have sent them to him without his knowledge. Jordan Chandler then told police about his private areas, leading to a strip search. The jury later found that the descriptions did not match. In January 1994, he paid the Chandlers $23 million to settle the case out of court. The police dropped the case citing a lack of evidence, as Jordan would not testify. They officially ended their investigation on September 22, 1994. He had been taking painkillers following surgeries on his scalp from a mishap during a Pepsi commercial in 1984. The stress from the allegations made him rely more on these painkillers. On November 12, 1993, he canceled the rest of his Dangerous World Tour due to health problems, stress from the allegations, and his addiction to painkillers. He thanked his close friend Elizabeth Taylor for her support and advice during this tough time, which also marked the end of his sponsorship deal with Pepsi. In May 2002, a documentary crew led by Martin Bashir followed him for several months. The documentary, aired in February 2003 as Living with Michael Jackson, showed him holding hands and discussing sleeping arrangements with a 12-year-old boy. He said he saw nothing wrong with sleepovers with children and sharing his bed with various people, which sparked a lot of controversies. He insisted these sleepovers were innocent and that people had misunderstood his words. On December 18, 2003, Santa Barbara authorities charged him with 7 counts of child molestation and 2 counts of giving alcohol to a minor. He denied all charges and pleaded not guilty. The trial, known as People versus Jackson, began on January 31, 2005, in Santa Maria, California, and lasted until the end of May. The trial was stressful for him and impacted his health. If found guilty, he could have faced up to 20 years in prison. However, on June 13, 2005, he was acquitted of all charges. FBI files released in 2009 showed their involvement in the 2005 trial and the 1993 allegations, but found no evidence of criminal behavior by him. Even with all the fame, his personal life faced tough moments. Let's see how love and loss mixed in his later years. The woman behind the star. In late 1993, he proposed to Lisa Marie Presley, Elvis Presley's daughter, over the phone. They got married in La Vega, Dominican Republic, in May 1994, officiated by civil judge Hugo Francisco Alvarez Perez. The media speculated that the wedding was a publicity stunt to shift attention away from his legal troubles and to boost Presley's music career. The marriage ended just over a year later in December 1995. Presley filed for divorce the following month, citing irreconcilable differences, and only asked to take back her maiden name. After the divorce, Judge Perez commented that he had expected the marriage to last only a year, but they managed a year and a half. Presley later revealed that she and he had tried to get back together several times over 4 years after their divorce, and she had traveled the world to be with him. After his first marriage ended, Michael continued his music career and traveled around the world to perform. During a tour stop in Sydney, Australia, he married Debbie Rowe, a dermatology assistant who was 6 months pregnant with his first child at the time. Their son, Michael Joseph Jackson Jr., commonly known as Prince, was born on February 13, 1997. Their daughter, Paris Michael Catherine Jackson, was born on April 3, 1998. Jackson and Rowe divorced in 2000, with Rowe giving up custody of their children for an $8 million settlement, equivalent to $14.6 million in 2023. In 2004, following new allegations of violence against Jackson, Roe went back to court to seek custody, settling the matter in 2006. Michael Jackson died tragically from an overdose in 2009. His sister Janet Jackson has continued to honor his memory and their complex relationship through various tributes. Shortly after his death, she performed their wet Scream soloed at the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards. On what would have been his 60th birthday in 2018, Janet released a new version of his famous Remember the Time music video. In 2020, on his birthday, she posted a touching message on Instagram with a childhood photo of them, saying, "I miss you, big bro," followed by a kiss emoji. Initially, Janet kept her feelings private to manage her grief. She later opened up about starting to grieve during a trip to Paris, where she realized the importance of confronting her sadness. "I'm pushing myself to move past this because it's not good for me," she admitted, reflecting on a particularly emotional night in Paris. Janet Jackson found comfort in diving deep into her brother Michael's music and videos. It became her way of coping, a kind of personal therapy. She spent a whole night in Paris surrounded by his art, crying and laughing as she watched his videos and listened to his songs. "It was really good for me. I really needed that," she said. Even though she misses him every day, Janet knows she has to keep moving forward while also keeping Michael's spirit alive in her heart. Their relationship had its ups and downs. Sometimes they were close and other times they weren't, but they always shared a deep, lasting love as siblings. Mourning Michael involves celebrating his incredible talent in life, but also facing the tough times they went through together. Janet believes that by accepting every part of their relationship, she can eventually find peace. Progress in her grief is slow, but she is committed to preserving Michael's legacy by openly expressing all the feelings his life and death evoke in her. Janet has spoken openly about the competitive tension, jealousy, and pain that sometimes mark their interactions. But it's clear that their love for each other has survived beyond Michael's sad death. When it comes to Michael Jackson's death in 2009, the story gets even more dramatic. Michael died from an overdose of the anesthetic propofol, which shocked people all over the world. His use of this powerful drug to help him sleep was an issue that had been growing for a long time. Evidence shows that he had been trying to get propofol for about 10 years before he died at the age of 50. Is Janet's revelation the real truth about Michael Jackson's final days? Or is there still more left untold? Share your thoughts and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.